I think it's unique. I don't think there is another consortium of seminaries and centers and affiliates like it in the United States.
I think of a better place for me to really find a way to make my preaching relevant than here.
A crossroads of cultures, a crossroads of denominations and pluralism within Christianity, a crossroads of different religions, a crossroads of different understandings of ministry.
GTU is more than just an experiment in hope. It's a real example of what the hope for the future can be.
Religion is at the heart of almost every important social issue that we are facing in this world. And so the GTU stands as a place, as an institution, where we try to bring together the resources for shaping and understandings of religion that are going to address the realities and the challenges of the world in which we live.
People want to know, well, what does another tradition have to offer to speak to me as a Christian?
These are 9 communities of people who believe religion is important, are studying it to become ministers and leaders of their faiths. And they got together because they believed in ecumenism and interfaith cooperation. Not only do we have the 9 seminaries, but we also have these independent centers, a Center for Jewish Studies, a Center for Buddhist Studies. We have a Center for Theology and Natural Science. So there's a series of other centers that bring, additional background and information for the students.
You'll have Baptists and Unitarians and Roman Catholics and Lutherans and Buddhists and Jews studying together, eating together, playing together, getting to know each other in a natural way.
Jews and Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and all of the different religions and American Indian religions, all of them can come together and talk and get to know each other so that there's room in our psyches for difference.
Life for me and what those places of connection.
How do you manage to maintain your desire or
My desire.
fuel your own desire?
That is a good question.
GTU opened its doors to me and I was welcomed, and that allowed me to open up to the GTU and to others. I think it's hard for someone from the Islamic tradition to reach out. There needs to be that coming forward from an institution like the GTU and say, hey, look, this is a safe place. Come to us. These are the things that we're offering.
The whole world is in California today. It has become home for Asians, for people from my own country, and people from South Asian countries that I know, from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. So when people from different contexts and countries are coming here, they need religious leaders and pastors. GTU has given me the qualities to serve them.
A student in the Lutheran school, if he wants to study the Old Testament, can study with a Jewish professor. If a Catholic is interested in what the Lutherans believe about salvation, there's a Lutheran seminary available. The students are allowed to and encouraged to take classes in other seminaries.
And we began by looking at the agendas and the task of interpretation as defined by all of our authors. At the GTU, we have, because we're on the Pacific Rim, we have an unusual collection of faculty with Asian backgrounds, that is from the various parts of Asia, but also faculty like myself who are Western but have studied about Asia. We probably have the best collection of such faculty of any theological institution in the country.
Post 9/11, a lot of people are now more aware of the importance of having interreligious dialogue. And so with that in mind, I think the GTU can model for the world how interreligious dialogue can work.
The idea of where religion meets the world means that the theoretical and the practical come together, that the world of belief and the world of action come together, that the world of ideas and the world of practical engagements come together.
Hi, how are you doing here? Thank you for volunteering today. The feeding of the 5,000 today dramatizes the ministry of Jesus. The Graduate Theological Union is important in today's world because it is not a typical theological institution. We learn how to respect each other's tradition. We learn how to learn from each other's tradition. And we learn what it really means to be a human community. Becomes sacred by it.
I've seen so many people applying their faith in works, which has really impressed me, watching that at the GTU, that it's not just about going to chapel service, but what are we going to do with this faith, with these prayers? And to see that level of commitment from different denominations has been a wake-up call for me.
At the GTU, we're not just aspiring to one day make it possible for religion to meet the world. It happens here every day. It happens in our classrooms, it happens in the coffee shops, it happens in the meeting rooms. It's happening every day here already, and we like to think that what you can see here at the GTU today is the way the world can be tomorrow.
We can train clergy and teachers to understand respect and learn to get along with people of diverse religions, and they will go out into the world and spread that teaching. Won't that be a wonderful thing?
Directly across the street from the library is a basketball court. And on the basketball court, there are a couple of Dominicans in their white robes with their big rosaries playing basketball. And not too far away, there was a Franciscan in his brown robe, walking down the street. And it wasn't long before I saw a Buddhist in a saffron robe. Well, those people are easy to identify, but I also know that, all over that campus there are Lutherans, Episcopalians, Jews, Catholics. So there's a wonderful mix of people doing what we think the GTU is uniquely equipped to do, which is have these guys work side by side.
When I was a kid growing up in New York as a Jew, we lived in a pretty segregated neighborhood, and I think most of the neighborhoods in New York and most American cities were fairly segregated in those days. This was a long time ago. And we didn't know each other. If you don't know someone, it's very easy to demonize them. But when you know them and you understand that they're motivated by the same things that drive you and want the same things for themselves and their family that you want, it's awfully hard to hate them. And that, I think, is what we're creating at the GTU.